As I discussed in a previous video, some of these services may or may not work because of port conflicts. If I try pretty much every other one except Apache, we'll see that they run. For example, MySQL I showed you already. We can see if it's, that it's attempting to start, that it's running, and it's on port 3306, which is its default port. FileZilla is running fine on its ports. Mercury, which is a mail server, running fine on many ports, but it's there. And Tomcat, which is the Java server, is working fine on its ports. However, when I try Apache, I get an error because, to be honest, 443 and 80 are working ports on my machine. So I could take a look at the logs, so if I click on logs here, I can see the error log is really what I want, and see some errors there. So what I'm going to need to do is change the ports. And this is a two-step process. Now, you only need to do this if Apache will not start on your system. Chances are Apache has started fine on your system. But I want to show this for those of you who have an issue. So I shall go to my config. And if you see on the config, there is a service and ports settings. I'm going to click that. And here's Apache. Here's all the ports that are running. And we saw those working fine. But on my Apache, notice I have 80 and 443. So I have to choose different ports. And to be honest, anything in the thousands is fine. I can't use 8080 because that's Tomcat and I might have issues later. We won't use it for the class, but I might forget and then not know why it's working. So if I go back and click abort and go back here, I want to make sure any of the ports I choose don't conflict with any of these. Okay? So I'm going to go back to config, service and port settings. I'm going to change Apache to 3000 and my SSL to 3030. I'm just making those up as I go along. I hit save and save. Now, if that was all we needed to do, that would be great. I hit start and I'm still having issues. Well, there's a reason for that. The configuration files for Apache, HTTP, and HTTPS, the secure server, are still pointing to 80 and 443. So I must go into config. And let me do Apache first, httpd.conf for config. And if I scroll down a little bit, I'm sorry, Notepad doesn't have line numbers, but where it says listen 80, I need to change this to 3000. Make sure that I save it and close it. I then need to go to config for the SSL, HTTPS, and scroll down, and here's 443, 3030, and save. Hopefully you don't need to do this because it does make development a little bit more challenging. Okay? Now, when I go back and hit start, it's running fine. I now have green for Apache on ports 3000 and 3030. To check it, let's go up, and we don't need our download anymore, and we hit localhost. And there we have it. XAMPP is running on localhost. So if you need to change your ports, that is what you'll need to do with the configs. Hopefully you do not, but if you do, there it is.